Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Steve the Book Guy here. I'm having a rough morning. I found out I have a leak in my sink, and I found out my safety inspection for my car have been canceled. But instead of getting all upset, we're going to use all that energy and we're going to turn it positive. And I'm looking for a plumber. If you happen to know me locally, already got the car safety thing worked out. So I wanted to hop on. I wanted to drop a little bit of book wisdom, but I also wanted to preview our upcoming auction that is tomorrow night. Starts at 6 p.m. Central. A lot of you know I'm Steve the Book Guy. I do auctions on WhatNot. I do book rescue locally and all of that good stuff. This is what WhatNot looks like. As I move that around a little bit, it's what the back end looks like. This is our auction, and this is on your phone as well. It looks a little different on your phone. But we have over 100, let me pull this up here, and 79 lots. Individual books priced very, very cheap. A lot of $1 starts. Everything from Miss Moss, I hope I'm saying that correctly, Miss Sarah, to coloring books, to all sorts of fun stuff. And we'll go through a little bit here. Some of my favorites. This is a really cool copy, Journey to the Center of the Earth. That's a Reader's Digest binding. This is Alice Walker. She wrote Color Purple. Speaking of which, Color Purple, forgot that was in there. I build these throughout the week, so by the time, and I'm ADD as shit, so by the time we get to Saturday or Friday when this runs, this one's Friday night, I sometimes forget what's all in here. So we have some Anne Rice, we have a couple of Anne Rice, some Tennessee Williams, a freaking book by Chuck freaking Norris, and so feel free to come out and hang out. Lots of stuff. We got lots of Stephanie Meyer, some neat vintage sci-fi. Like I said, we do book rescue all week. I go to Goodwills and Goodwill bins, thrift stores, garage stores, estate sales, buyouts, cleanouts. I'm lifting books, 5 days out of 7. So this auction on Friday is, as I like to put, as I tell the kids, I was like, I like to auction off the ones I like to talk about. So all these books are something that kind of caught my eye. A lot of Colleen Hoover in this one. This is $1 start on there. I know she's super popular. I know the BookToK stuff is pretty popular too, and I've got some of that in here. Old classic, The Thornbirds, first edition. Found that locally. An old Edgar Allan Poe. But again, like I said, I'm having a rough morning. So whenever when the world kind of tries to punch me in the face, I have learned over years this is a really neat one, Once and Future King. It's kind of like a retelling of the Arthurian legend, which is super awesome. I kind of punch back. This is Court of Frost, super popular series. Probably the most popular series right now, even though that's, as time goes by, that's, some other really strong stuff is coming up behind it, but very popular series. Divine Comedy, Dante. Like I said on Facebook this morning when I was looking for a plumber, I said, I can quote the Divine Comedy, but I can't fix a sink. So I am acutely aware of my specific skill set and how reliant I am on other skill sets. And I appreciate those with that knowledge. I will eventually go on an ADHD kick and learn, but today is not that day, and I need to just write the check. But Stephen King, Desperation, really some nice covers here. A lot of this already's got pre-bids. So basically how this works, if you're brand new and if you're watching this locally, is it's a live thing. You watch it on your phone. I start a book up for auction, and there's a way to bid on it, and I don't get I don't get a ton of people on my streams, 15, 20 people, but it's fun. But you walk away with a lot of stuff for not a whole lot of money. And then we ship everything the next day. This one's got some DVDs in there, I found. So we buy books by the bookshelf and by the house and by the box. And I don't like to throw anything away. So the DVDs sometimes I'll throw in here to, just cause, Dragon Ball Z, Blazing Saddles. Hold on while I whip this out. That kind of stuff. But so let me drop you on that wisdom. So you guys kind of get the idea. I'm excited about this one. I wanted to tell somebody about it. Obviously, these are all BookToK type books here, which I know are like crazy popular right now. Some Hemingway, can't go wrong with some Hemingway. E.T. cover. Again, just super, super fun stuff. I'm super excited. In the auction, we usually hang out for about 3 hours. It's mostly like a Twitch show, but you can get books and stuff too. And it's just, we talk about books the whole time. But the one thing I did want to talk about that came up in the show the other day is this particular book here. I love stocking books like this. This is Woman in Science, 50 Fearless Pioneers Who Changed the World. This is a kind of book, if you're a parent or you're going to be parents or whatever the case may be, this is the kind of book that you kind of really do want to consider having in the house, right? You want to normalize this kind of thinking. And you don't necessarily need to sit and read every single page and all of that, even though it would be totally rad if you did. You could do like one a night kind of a thing. But when people understand that the world is a big place and that these people existed, especially in this context here with these wonderful science ladies, that normalizes that path. Does that make sense? And it is not even something that you have to like slam a child over the head with. Don't slam a kid in the head with a book. It'll hurt. Don't do that. But just having the book around, accessible, in a place where the young person will walk by it, it'll become normal for that young lady to consider a career in STEM and not necessarily be saddled or burdened with some of the, the tropes that society would sometimes rather us be burdened with, if that makes sense. And hear my heart, like, do not construe this in any way as a negative. I really just do mean this a positive. There's a place for everyone and a path for everyone. And I'm not knocking any particular path. I'm just saying it's nice to have all of the paths available to you because we're all built different. You might have that next little, Madame Curie or whatever the case may be. But if that young little potential Madame Curie isn't aware that that path is available to her in her life, then we, the collective we, do not get that Madame Curie. And I'm rhyming and I didn't know I would do that. But do you understand the point I'm trying to make? So let's normalize these paths. We don't necessarily have to force the kids down any particular path. We just need to let all these, this is what school should be doing, right? Now, hopefully it is, but all of the paths are available. And then it's our job as parents to find out what best path for that kid, for that kid, not necessarily, to make that kid happy long term, because that's really the ultimate goal. Yes, we need to be sustainable, but if we're not happy, what's the point? So that's all I wanted to say. I'm having a bad day. Find me a plumber. Nice talking to you.